Hey, I'm Brent Ehrler, sitting here with John Sherman at the Simms booth at the 2014 ICAST Show, and we are taking a look at all the new products for this next season, and especially for this fall and winter when it's going to get cold. We're going to start talking about some layering, and we're going to try and educate you guys on proper layering techniques on how to stay warm out there, and that's really the strong basis behind staying warm is layering, correct?
Absolutely. The key to staying comfortable out there when we're fishing is to move moisture away from our body. So we're going to talk about our whole layering system and how to stay warm in those coldest conditions. Two California boys, we don't like to get cold, and so we'll talk to you about how we stay warm in those super cold conditions.
For sure, and this is something that being a fisherman that travels across the country, I don't have a choice whether to go out or not when the weather's bad. When it's bad, I have to go out, and having the proper clothes to stay warm and stay dry is crucial to being able to stay on the water and effectively catch fish. So, Simms has helped me do that to where I can stay warm and fish all day and not be cold and shivering. If you get cold out there, you're so worried about being cold that you're not concentrating on fishing, you're not catching fish, and in my career, my path, if I don't catch fish, I don't make any money. So I have to stay warm and have to be mentally in the game. So, layering wise, for me, I wear a ton of clothes. And the nice thing about layering is if it does warm up, first thing in the morning it's gonna be colder. If it does warm up, that's the part about layering is you can shed and still be safe and warm and dry out there.
The analogy I like to use is the egg analogy, and we're going to walk through some specific products and how that actually comes into play. We're going to start with the yolk of the egg, and that's the most important and often most misunderstood layer, what we wear right next to our skin. So tell us about what you're wearing right there, Brent.
This right here is the Wader Wick core, and this is the one that I'm going to wear first thing. This is the first thing I'm going to put on, and this is just a good kind of a breathable, I guess that would be the best way to describe it, right? Is a breathable shirt that keeps me warm, but it will not retain that sweat. It won't, it'll let me breathe to where I won't get that damp feel in there. So if I start to warm up, you start sweating a little bit, you're going to that heat's going to come off of you. You have to let it get out of there a little bit.
Absolutely crucial. And a lot of anglers are wearing cotton t-shirts, and when you perspire with cotton, that moisture is held right next to your skin. This is a polyester-based fabric that's going to pull that moisture away from you. If you perspire, which we all do on a daily basis, that moisture now is moving away from your body. That's the key component here. Now we do this Wader Wick core top in a bottom, a boxer, and then the mid top, or the top that Brent's wearing right here. So critical piece. It's not expensive. We're talking $29 for the bottom, $25 for the boxer, and $35 for the top.
And again, start with that. This is going to be our base layer. This is where we're going to start. Like you mentioned, this is going to be the yolk of the egg. This is the core of what we're going to do. And from there,
let's go into the second layer, which is our insulation layer, and this is going to be our Wader Wick mid top. So this is something you wear next, right on top. All right, so we talked about the yolk of the egg. Now we're at the white of the egg, and this is going to be the insulation layer. This is what traps your body's heat, keeping you warm, and also wicks moisture and pulls moisture away from our body here. Now Brent's wearing the new Wader Wick mid top. It's $49.95. We do this in the top and in the bottom. And I think one of the key components here is that it's not super bulky. When you're underneath the Pro Dry or your actual shell, which we'll talk about next, you don't have all that bulk. So
true, and that's one thing that I've learned over the years, using competitive brands and fishing out there. When I get cold, I can't move. It's like the kid in the Christmas Story where they bundle him up to go out in the snow and he can't move his arms, he's stuck. That's what happens with other clothes. So with Simms, I've noticed that mobility is a big difference. That's the one thing I've always loved about Simms. Not only staying warm, staying dry, but being mobile the whole time.
Yeah, we build all our cuts for anglers. We are a fishing brand. Our cuts are designed for the fishermen. When you're moving and casting, the materials are going to stretch and move with you.
Yes.
I think that's definitely a key component here. So this is our insulation layer, and next we're going to go into the shell. All right, now we're still in the insulation layer, still the white of the egg. This actually doubles as the shell at some points. This is a fall run jacket that Brent's wearing now. The beauty of this piece is that it's so lightweight and packable. So I'll throw this into underneath one of the latches of my boat, super compact, and when I break it out, now I have maximum warmth. Now the insulation on this is a material called Primaloft. Primaloft is a synthetic down, but unlike down, when it gets wet, it doesn't lose its loft, it maintains its warmth. On top of that, you now have a wind-resistant and water-resistant shell, so if it's not a torrential downpour, really key piece. This is going to be breaking out in a really cold weather environment now to show what we're wearing there.
And again, mobility is a big deal with this. This jacket right here, it doesn't matter how many clothes on I have underneath this. I don't even know this is here. I actually feel more mobile with this on than without it on. That's the nice thing about it. It's so soft and so easy to move around with it. Now we're going to what John calls the shell of the egg. This is the final layer. This right here is the Pro Dry jacket, and I have the Pro Dry bibs on underneath. The nice thing about Pro Dry is this is my rain suit. Well, not only is it a rain suit, this is something I wear out regardless if it's raining or not. If it's cold, I use this as my top layer. This is something that I always put out there just to, running down the lake, or if you're, sitting there and you get a little bit of spray. Now I'm completely dry, but I use it as almost a wind stopper as well. So this is the layer that I put on last.
Yeah, that's a great point. So this piece is your protection from the outside elements, complete protection from wind, rain, snow, you name it. This is what's going to keep you comfortable and keep the elements out. Yet it's still made with the Gore-Tex membrane, a Pro Shell Gore-Tex membrane, which is ultra breathable here. So this is our final layer. We've talked about specifics of the jacket in the past, but this is what keeps us going. And then 40% of your body heat is lost through your head. So then we would throw on like a wind stopper, stocking cap, protect us from the wind, still breathe. We have, I know you're a big fan of our gloves, so I'll let you talk about those.
The gloves, yeah. In fishing, if your hands get cold, they start to slow down. They don't work, and that's when you start losing fish. For me, it has always been wool gloves. That's been my favorite out there. Now these gloves here have the fingers cut off, the tips of them, and that's what I like, because I like having the actual feel. I don't like having that layer between my fishing line and my skin. So I like having the actual feeling of my fingertips. So the one thing about wool is that it retains heat even when it's wet, and that's the reason why I've always been a fan of wool. When they get wet, they still stay warm. So wool gloves are a must for me. Even if it's not raining, I wear these things. The same thing with the Pro Dry. Not raining, I still wear it. Even though it's designed to keep you dry, I still wear it even though it's not raining. Same things with the gloves.
Yeah, we would throw our Wader Wick socks or extreme socks on our feet, keep our feet nice and toasty, a waterproof shoe, and now you have the complete protection from the elements. So
for sure.
All of these exciting products you can get at Tackle Warehouse. Everything we've talked about here today, everything we showed you here is available now. So go check it out.